First of all, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I'm really excited to learn more about you and where you're from. Can you tell me the name of the street that you grew up on and the city and state?
Yeah, so I grew up on DeSoto Street. It's
Mm.
in St. Louis, Missouri. It's in the North City, St. Louis, or north side of St. Louis is how we say it locally. I was born in 1990, so North City was going through, a lot of political suppression, a lot of the impacts of the, crack epidemic and the war on drugs were had hit our neighborhood
Mm.
hard. We were in the middle of, just a lot of um, Black people trying to figure it out, but also working together and figuring out how to build community on a street that was, surrounded by so many of those external factors that disrupt people's ability to thrive. We had an intergenerational household. I lived with my grandma, so my mom's mom, my mom, myself, and my siblings, and my uncle, who was a veteran. Lived there as well. So it was a lot of us in a very small apartment growing up. And I didn't really think about how different that was from everyone else, but I really
Mhm.
enjoyed um, having access to that history. I really loved it, and as I grew older, started to understand the sort of social conditions that made that a reality.
Where did you get that awareness as you got older?
Yeah, for me, I think some of it came just from, college. And then
Mm.
when I sort of came into movement was 2014 after Mike Brown was killed. So I understood where I lived and how life shaped out for me. I didn't understand why, right? The factors that contribute to that, the political decisions, the policy, the implications of those, the
Mm.
structures that are built, right? The institutional impact on neighborhoods and a street like DeSoto. It all shaped my lived experience. And I think for a while, life is happening to us. Then we start to understand why those things happen.
Mm.
And then for me, I started to say, well, how can I change it?
Were you a part of the uprisings in 2014? And did that
Yeah.
so the organization didn't exist before the uprisings, is that right?
No, I was a pharmacy technician the day Mike Brown was killed.
Oh, wow.
And so I had, no college, maybe some volunteer experiences, but nothing like what I do now as far as an organizer goes. And so I became an organizer
Wow.
in 2014 after protesting during the uprising. And then in 2016, when we started Action St. Louis, it was actually the summer that Alton Sterling and Philando Castile were killed. And
Mm.
Philando Castile is actually from St. Louis.
Mm.
And so it felt like the community could be a block or it could be a country of Black people dealing with the same conditions.
Mm.
And we wanted to respond to that. And I knew that the answer to a lot of the injustices were organizing people to understand their power and then to take action with that power, right? And so that's sort of what we named it. Action St. Louis is because that's the most basic tenet any of us can do is take action to change our communities.